Alright, hopefully this is a recording. Response video to Fred. Yeah, this is a Nikon, whatever, L22. Cool pics, they call it. Anyway, it's not bad. I mean, it's a good camera, but I don't like it. I don't like the little blinky thing, and there's no light when you're recording, which, really is sort of important. Especially when the screen doesn't work. Yeah, it's kind of important. And then you can't tell if you're recording. Well, anyway, I'm playing Fred's videos just so I can get to a couple of points here, hopefully, and respond to them. So this probably isn't the best camera for response video, but whatever. It's a little hard to get these stupid widget thingy, call it, working right. I want to jump ahead to 3 minutes here. Yeah, it should be able to jump ahead now that it's buffered. Okay, coming right around in here would be good. So we'll turn the sound on here, I think.
Purpose in evolution. There's mechanism in evolution. And now that we have some control of the mechanism, we can now at this point decide what we want to do with that and how we want to define purpose within that and do something about it. I don't think we're in disagreement about that, actually. No intelligent design in nature. No, there's not. There's no stupid design either. It's just...
Well, now that's where it just kind of goes to hell. So, yeah, you're saying we're in agreement, but you're always kind of unraveling the premises of the argument. So I just don't see the agreement in the sense that... it really isn't that complicated. It is a thing. It's like a machine. You can judge how well it's performing, is the argument here. Is that evolution points to our origins. It kind of tells us how we were constructed. We can sort of look at how we behave and function. We can sort of see that maybe we don't look like Frankenstein on the outside, but we certainly got a lot of Frankenstein on the inside. And that there's this, you've even conceded the mechanism is just delusionary in the sense that you think this will be the last one, just one more. You just keep pulling your hand in the bag and say just one more, just one more, just one more, and it just won't end. It's just a staircase of pointless addictions that just ends up, with that optical illusion, where it just keeps, even that's a metaphor. It just keeps flowing into itself. And all you're doing is staircasing. And, I've even used that dungeon analogy, and you turn that into some sort of going towards the light. No, the point of the metaphor is that you're starting from shit. And all you're doing is getting yourself out of shit. It's like you're in this quicksand or you're in the cesspool. And all your satisfaction is just derived because you got extracted yourself from the bad, not that you got to a good. So that all this work is like, what if you had to climb out of quicksand, brush yourself off, and then go to your work at 7-Eleven? You know what I mean? I mean, that's the reality. The reality is that you have to go through all this work to survive so you can live in mediocrity. Not that you get somewhere, that it is a zero-sum game, that it's a zero-sum machine at best, when it's working perfectly, when it's working exemplary, okay? It's a zero-sum machine. It produces what it consumes, or it takes care of its consumption cost. It pays for itself. It produces something of enough value to buy the gas to fuel the damn thing. But that's at its best. That's at optimum performance. It's a zero. It's a non-liability. And there's no way we're going to do it perfectly. There's no way we're going to achieve the zero sum. And so it's innately a negative game. And we can see it. And you just keep trying to avoid the truth of it, that it's all written on every wall that has something written on it. It has written on it, this is fail. It doesn't have... There's no hopeful truths that we're discovering in the last 200 years. There just isn't. They're all negative truths about what we were and where we came from and what our nature is. And it's just time to admit it, to quit evading it. I'm sorry, but it just sounds like you're evading it. I mean, every single time I point that metaphor, you turn it into some sort of going towards the light, or blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, well, what's the point? It's a game that's fucking insidious. It's a game that can be metaphored. I mean, you did metaphor a little, but I'm just saying, it's the meat grinder game. There's no other game to be played here. There's squirrels running in a wheel, and humans, metaphorically, that are turning the gearworks, and the other humans are being thrown into the top, and they're coming out shit at the bottom, and then they're feeding the ground up shit to the other humans over here before they shoot them up in here, or no, the pile of ground up human is in front of the little squirrels that are running in the wheel. I mean, this is the game. This isn't a game. It's just a stupid, idiotic waste engine. It is a waste engine. It is a waste engine. I mean, and it's time for somebody to either make a counter argument to that truth, or for everybody just to say it. It's a waste engine. It produces waste. It can't produce anything else. It's just like I've said in videos so many times. Even our greatest attribute of intelligence, knowledge, understanding, it has only one real purpose. It can only function usefully in one way, and that is to create comfort in human beings, is to deal with their comfort issues, their comfort problem. That's how you define intelligence. Intelligence has no use otherwise. There's no intelligent purpose without the whiny, needy little beastie to serve. Then there's nothing for intelligence to do. Intelligence doesn't come up with an idea on its own and say, I need to go climb a mountain. No, intelligence doesn't need to solve a problem like that. It wouldn't even occur to intelligence to say, I need to climb it because it's there. It's not something intelligence does. It's something fucking stupidity does. And you don't want to call it stupidity, but that's stupidity. Nature is stupid. It makes animals do stupid things. Stupid things are unwise things. They're ignorant things. They're dumb things. Frickin' goddamn natural design is dumb design. It's not stupid design. It is stupid design. By the definition of stupid, which is dumb, ignorant, unaware, all those all those words are what fucking nature is. It has no understanding of consequences. It has no understanding of implications. It will give us the nuclear bomb, even though that's really a big fucking mistake. I wouldn't trust us with those keys. Anyway, moving on to 7 or so minutes in here.
Position of having something of an overview. I'm not
right about
pain and pleasure visibly as
there.
Cost in some kind of economy of value. We're using it as fuel. You use the fuel metaphor here at times. I think elsewhere, either you or I, or probably both of us, have used it as kind of part of the structure of the information. You've talked about attraction and repulsion, pain and pleasure as kind of the kind of binary language of thought. That our sentience is put together by these two elements. Maybe I have to. So the reason why I'm not buying into that metaphor entirely right now is because it's too flexible for me right now. I need to be clearer about what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, whatever. I don't know. To me, it doesn't seem to be that complicated. We have two kinds of sensations, ones that are generally fall on one side of the fence or the other. They're either ones you want to do again, or they're things you won't want to do ever again. I mean, at least we can find the ones 5 feet from the fence. We can certainly define the 90% or the 99% of experiences that fall 5 feet on one side or 5 feet on the other side. They're definitely on one side or the other. And I'm just saying, when you add up those sensations alone, you can see that the game really was the chase. The game wasn't the getting, the having, the nirvana moments that we get in our life, the satisfaction of finally winning and all that kind of crap. The motivator, the mover, is definitely the desire, and that's what's keeping us in the game. It's not logic, it's not rationality, it's not a sensible purpose, it's not something called accomplishment, or in any real sense of that word. It just isn't. It's just a frickin' desire mechanism, and we know where that came from. We know why it exists, because that's what organisms have to fight through this slop and to eat each other the way they are. I mean, come on. That's the only way you can get somebody to do it. Is the only way you get things to be illogical is you have to make them illogical by giving them some sort of delusion, some sort of perception of value that has nothing to do with any kind of realistic or reasonable evaluation. So we irrationally and unreasonably evaluate through our sentience, and we ignore our brain saying, this picture doesn't make sense. Yeah, no, this is stupid. There's something wrong with this picture, and we ignore that. So anyway, moving on some more.
So there's somebody to the
11.
What's going on? You know, the
somewhere towards the end, I guess.
That we know about in our brains.
Come on.
Processing that in the dark. I'm not quite sure where we're going with this. I'm enjoying it, but not quite sure where we're going. Game, that was the other thing. It's like a game, isn't it? We both use that quite a bit. And that's quite an interesting one, because games are so different, aren't they? You know, and games like cockfighting or hunting or jousting are very different to games like hacky sack or what's that, frisbee or Pokemon. You know, what kind of a game it is really different. Anywho.
Yeah, well, I think the point is, though, yeah, it is a good conversation, but like I said, I think you're talking past what I'm talking. I mean, I've titled the video, about the truth. We're basically just we're fucking the truth with all this metaphor and all this talking around the subject and not getting to the subject. And the subject is evolution. The subject is, one replicating molecule 4 billion years ago, and the mechanisms that are it's imposing, not the circumstance of natural selection imposes, and what it creates, generally speaking. And we can see what it creates, generally speaking. And then we can be all proud because the monster that we are, the Tyrannosaurus that we are as a society, we don't have to take individual responsibility, but we do. So even that doesn't go anywhere. Put that on ignore. Just finish up here. So yeah, and then there are all kinds of games, but even the point of the game is that all the games we're playing, even if you call it a benign game, there's all this ego crap involved, and it's the reason why we're playing has nothing to do with some sort of rational decision. It's all irrational, based on desire and need and dependency and addiction, not based on I logically and intelligently can see the purpose in knacky-sacking. And we know that the games we're playing are not knacky-sack. No, they're throw knives at each other's, important parts. We consume each other. We disregard other people. There's people, living a hard life so I can live a comfortable life. This is the truth of this bullshit game. And it's a bullshit game. It's a bullshit game. It's a bullshit machine. It's a waste engine. It's all made out of nothing. But needs that don't need to exist. Needs that don't need to exist. Needs that don't need to exist. That's the theme of this video. So use those words. Make something out of that sentence. Needs that don't need to exist. There's no rational imperative, no reasonable reason to create the need monster. Okay. Enough of the video. Sorry, this is probably way too close because this focal length sucks. But anyway, it's for taking pictures, not for making videos.